The Renegades of House Orlock fully understand they have been set up. After a run-in with the Enforcers and the killing of a Delaque assassin, the Renegades now set off to stake their claim on the mine workings. Darkness, however, follows the light, and deep within the mine, they come face to face with the Shadows. As they make their way down a long corridor, they hear footsteps. The Shadows seem to move, and from them emerges their foe. Welcome back to Shadows of Primus, where your vote counts, and today we've got a matchup between the Dark Syndicate of House Delaque and the Renegades of House Orlock. These two come in at the top of the table and should be pretty evenly matched. The only disadvantage for Delaque is their web weapon specialist is in recovery, but they did get a Juve added to their list. Of course, the scenario can be anyone's disadvantage in this game, and I love how unpredictable it can be. As always, our content is just for love of the hobby and to give some love to the great games we play. You can support us with a like on this video, and for those that have made an Amazon purchase by using an affiliate link, thanks so much. While I can't see who orders, I do see what is ordered, and from thin plastic cement glue to the Dark Uprising box set, I just want to say thanks. While I don't know who you are, it doesn't go unnoticed. I've also started an Instagram, so if you would like midweek updates of what's coming up or what I'm working on, feel free to check that out. No matter what, I appreciate you being here. Let's take a look at the Renegades of House Orlock, and a big thank you to Sakara4 for helping me tweak these lists. After seeing the click tactic with a 6+ ammo check weapon, Hazard, the road captain, adds a combat shotgun, the Arms Master Argo adds an arc hammer, a gunner Sideswipe joins the ranks with autogun, chainsword, and mesh armor. The Renegades have used all of their credits and have a rating of 1200, reputation of 3, and depart today with 7 active fighters. The Dark Syndicate of House Delaque sees various changes in accordance with their tactics cards. The leader, Mr. Black, adds a stiletto knife, photo goggles, and a gun shroud. The champion, Sinfall, adds photo goggles, Severus adds photo goggles, and a Juve, Midnight, joins the ranks with auto pistol and flak armor. They depart today with 7 active fighters, a gang rating of 11-15, and a reputation of 6. Today's scenario is Shootout, and I know many of you were expecting the big battle between these two. Trust me, I bought photo goggles and gun shrouds, but I also polled the community on this as well, and the decision was to obey the dice and to never question them. I am determined to make the best of it, however. We'll be using 3 tiles to create a straight corridor today, which I think reflects a long corridor of the mine workings. Line of sight must be clear from side to side. Crews are random D3 plus 1, and the Renegades rolled up for 3 total fighters. The Dark Syndicate rolled up for 4. Deployment must be on the ground level within 10 inches of a board edge and within 1 inch of at least one other friendly fighter. Both crews must have line of sight to each other. The special rule in this scenario is quick draw. When a fighter activates, a cool check will be made for them. As soon as one crew has failed a total of 6 cool checks, they go for their guns. Until one side draws and starts shooting, fighters can only make a single move action during activations. It can be no more than 3 inches, it has to be towards the opposing crew, and may not be towards cover, and if it would bring them within 4 inches of an enemy fighter, they take no action. As soon as a crew goes for their guns, all fighters on the board become ready. An initiative check will be made for all fighters with +1 if using a sidearm and -2 if using an unwieldy weapon. Fighters that pass that test activate with the first group, and those that fail activate with the second group. The order in each group is decided by initiative, with some fighters going at the same time, and shooting actions will be resolved before any move or charge actions. Once the quick draw has been done, play proceeds as normal. The battle ends when only one gang is left on the battlefield. No tactics cards may be used in this battle. Orlock rolls up randomly for the champion Argo, the gunner Richter, and the wrecker Moose. Delaque rolls up for their champion Raven, the other champion Sinfall, and gangers Snake Eyes and Sinister. Turn 1 priority rolls are coming up next. Alright, we are going to start making cool checks and moving our fighters towards each other no more than 3 inches. And first off, we're going to roll up for priority here to see who is going to do that first. And it looks like the Orlock gang will be up first, my son controlling them today. And the first cool check is going out for Argo. He is on a cool of 6. He is going to pass that, and he is going to move forward the full 3 inches. Snake Eyes will activate for the Dark Syndicate on a cool of 6. He is also good, and he is going to scoot forward about 3 inches. Moose activates next for the Renegades, and he is on a cool of 8, and this is where they have the potential to fail, but he rolls up a 10 and will move forward the full 3 inches. Next up, Sinister will pass, and he is going to move up as well. Back over to the Renegades, another pass from Richter on this 8, he will move forward. And then the Dark Syndicate will have the last 2 checks to make. Sinfall will move forward after passing his cool check, and Raven, who has the long-range sniper rifle, he is going to fail, and he is only going to move forward 1 inch. And that was the first fail out of 6. We're going to roll up again to see who goes first. The tie going over to the Dark Syndicate. We've got a pass here from Snake Eyes as he is going to move up. The Dark Syndicate moving a little slower this time. We've got a pass over on the Renegade side, and Argo is going to move up. And then we've got a fail on the Dark Syndicate side as Sinister will move up. And back over for the Renegades, we have our first fail for Moose, and that's going to be 2 fails for the Dark Syndicate, 1 fail for the Renegades. Moose again moving forward the full 3. And then the Dark Syndicate will be good, so they're moving forward. We have another fail from House Orlock, and that is Richter, as he is moving up the full 3. They're trying to get as close as possible. And the last check belongs to Raven with his sniper rifle. He will pass and scoot forward 1 inch. And we're going to roll up for priority again, both gangs tied at 2 for their cool checks. The Renegades will be up first. Argo declares a move. He is going to pass a cool check. He has the lowest of the 3, needing a 6. He moves up again with his arc hammer and shotgun. Snake Eyes for the Dark Syndicate will pass as well, and he's going to scoot up about 1 inch, trying to keep as much space between the 2 as possible. And back over for the Renegades, we have another pass, and this time it is Moose who is moving up, and that is exactly what he needed, which was an 8. House Delaque will pass again, and Sinister will move up. And then House Orlock is going to fail, so this is going to be their 3rd fail, and Richter will move up. The Dark Syndicate rolls up for their next check, and it's a fail. That's going to be their 3rd fail as well. And Sinfall is going to move up, and they owe the last check as well, which is another fail. That's going to be their 4th. Raven scoots up ever so slightly. So rolling up for priority one more time here, and it looks like it's a tie, so that's going to go over to House Orlock. My son declares Moose, and that 7 is going to be a fail. His cool check is an 8, so that ties up at 4 each. And back over for the Dark Syndicate, Snake Eyes is going to roll up, needing a 6. He's going to be good. He is going to scoot forward just slightly. And over for the Renegades, we have a pass. This time it is coming from Richter. Sinister activates for the Dark Syndicate. He is going to pass on this 9, moving up slightly. And then back over for the Renegades, we have an easy pass from Argo, who is going to move up the full distance. Remaining checks going back over to the Dark Syndicate, still tied at 4 each. We do have a pass coming from Sinfall on the 6. That is exactly what he needed. And then quickly rolling those back out for Raven, and he fails again. This takes the Dark Syndicate to 5, and the Renegades still at 4. So thinking that this could be the turn that the powder keg blows, we roll up one more time to see who starts to activate first. And it looks like the Renegades will activate their fighters first. And my son is going to declare Moose again, who needs an 8. That is going to be a fail. That is going to tie things up at 5. And then back over for the Dark Syndicate, Raven will activate. He is going to pass and move forward just slightly. And then over for the Renegades, another cool check taken. And this time it is going to be Richter, and this is going to fail. They go for their guns. Now the fighters are going to activate in groups, some of them simultaneously, and the way that it works is it goes on initiative, and if they're activating with a sidearm, they will get +1. If they're activating with an unwieldy weapon, it will be -2. And we're going to take initiative checks and assign groups, and they will activate in order of initiative. First up, Moose, he has a initiative of 2 because he is drawing a sidearm. His base initiative is 3. He is going to pass that initiative check. He will go with group 1 and activate first. We are then rolling up for Argo, who passes. He needs a 4. He will go with group 1. And then rolling up for Richter, who has an initiative of 4. He will activate with the first group as well. And over for the Dark Syndicate, rolling up for Snake Eyes. These guys mainly have base initiatives of 4. He's going to fail, so he is going to go with Group 2. Next up we have Sinister, and he is going to pass. So he will go with Group 1. We then have Sinfall in the middle, who is armed with his pistols. He is going to fail. He will be going with Group 2. And then Raven will pass. He will go with Group 1. So the powder keg erupts. Moose gets the first action with his initiative of 2. He gets that +1 modifier, base initiative of 3, and then he charges into Raven. And the purpose of this was just to try to tie him up because that long rifle can do a bit of damage. And he goes into combat. He's going to shoot with his 2 sidearms. The first one rolls out, gets a hit on this 4. He is +1 to hit because he charged with that jump pack. He does not wound, however, also needing 4s. The next pistol fires as well, only gets 1 shot from each pistol. He is again going to get a hit, but then the wound roll, strength 3, toughness 3, needing 4s, it fails to wound. Raven is a champion. He is going to strike back with his reaction attacks. He did have to turn to face, so he will need 4s in order to connect, and these are unarmed attacks. One of these attacks will go through, again, base of 2, and then rolling to wound. He will get a wound, needing 4s here. That 6 gets it done. Moose has to take a save with flak armor, and he makes it on a 6. He remains unscathed. Next, we have attacks going off at the same time. Argo targets Sinfall with his shotgun, and he hits on this 4. It does go through cover. He did not aim for that, and he ends up making the hit. And then he does have Shotgun Savant, so 2d6 for the scatter shot and pick the highest. It is going to be 5 total wound rolls that we need to make. Now, these are strength 2, so we will need 5s, but 3 of these are going to go through. So 3 armor saves will need to be taken from Sinfall, and I believe he's in mesh armor. 1 of these will be saved, 2 will fail. That reduces his wounds to 0, and 1 injury die will be rolled out for him, and this could be huge for the Renegades. So injury die coming out now, and it is a serious injury. He's going to go down, and cool checks will need to be taken from the nearby Syndicate players. So as a note, he did not aim for that, so he still has an action to take, which will be a move, but the rules say to resolve all of the shooting first, and since we have fighters shooting at the same time, we're going to resolve all of the shots before any moves, charges, or anything else. So let's see what those cool checks are going to do, and it looks like Snake Eyes is going to be just fine. And then we're going to test for Sinister. He is going to be good. And then we will also test for Raven, who's locked up in combat here. He rolls up exactly what he needs, a 6. So continuing with Group 1 activations in order of initiative, Richter is going to go ahead and take his shots, and he is going to target Sinister with his autogun. And he is going over cover, does not use an aim, and that shot is going to miss. Over for the Dark Syndicate, Sinister needs to pass a cool check due to Iron Stayer and ends up failing, so that shot will not happen. Raven activates next. He is going to target Moose. He does have 2 attacks unarmed, hitting on 4s, and these 2 will go through. He does need 4s in order to cause damage. 1 wound will go through, so that is going to be a 6-up save that needs to be taken from Moose, and that fails. That will reduce him to 0 wounds, so an injury die will be rolled out for Moose. And lucky for him, it's only a flesh wound. Reaction attacks come back across to no avail. And now that the shooting is done for Group 1, we will see the movements, and Argo is going to move up, and Richter will move up behind cover. So continuing with Group 2 activations, and Snake Eyes is going to announce a charge into Moose, and the purpose of this charge is to try to take someone out of action and enforce a bottle check, because bottle checks are going to be very easy to fail for both sides. So these will be unarmed attacks, and charging in, he's going to get 2 swings, and he is easily going to connect on 2 6s. And then Moose is at a lower toughness due to a flesh wound, so just needing 3s to wound, both of these will go through, so 2 6-up saves will be required from Moose. And these are going to fail, so 2 injury dice will be rolled out for Moose. He goes down with a serious injury and gets the coup de grace from Snake Eyes. And that is the end of the quick draw round. I am not seeing where bottle checks are required. We are going to take a recovery roll for Sinfall here. Moose taken out of action for the Renegades. And the recovery test for Sinfall, he is getting an assist, so 2 will roll out, and we will pick the best here. And he is going to roll back over with a flesh wound. Very important priority roll coming up for the official turn 1. And those dice are coming out now, and the Renegades of House Orlock will be up first. Alright, a group activation from Argo. Richter will activate first and charge into Sinfall. He will get 2 slashes from his fighting knife, and he will need 4s in order to hit. And both of these are going to go through. It is Strength 3 against Toughness 2, as Sinfall does have a flesh wound on him. And it looks like there will be 2 wounds that go through. Mesh Armor at AP -1 takes it to a 6-up save, and wow, what a roll. Sinfall holding firm, being the champion he is, he will get reaction attacks from his fletchet pistols. The first one shoots out, does need 3s to hit, and it will strike Richter, needing 4s to wound, and it will not wound. The next pistol fires out, again needing 3s. It does connect, and these are rapid fire shots. 1 wound goes through, and rolling 2 more dice, there will be 2 total wounds, and it looks like Richter's going to be on a 6-up save. He saves 1 and fails 1, so this will go through, injury die being rolled out for him, and he goes down with a serious injury. There is no coup de grace for reaction attacks, but Sinfall has to ready up as he has another fighter coming his way as Argo announces a charge, and he is going to get within 1 inch of Sinister and Sinfall, and swinging this big arc hammer, he's going to get 3 attacks. And since he is versatile and he is at range, there will not be a -1 to hit for interference. 2 hits going over on Sinfall, but it doesn't matter. He's going to connect on both of these. He wounds on 2s, and 1 wound goes through. The AP -1 makes it a 6-up save, which is failed, and 3 damage means 3 injury dice will be rolled out for Sinfall. And Sinfall is taken out of action, and as the hammer swings back around, it now heads towards Sinister. The 1 shot heading towards Sinister, it is going to hit on 3s. Again, not getting that -1 because he is at range and versatile, so this is going to connect on this 3. And then needing 2s to do a wound, it is going to wound. That's going to cut right through his flak armor. And 3 injury dice are being rolled out for Sinister, and it looks like he is going down with a serious injury, 2 flesh wounds, and he is going to get the coup de grace being within 1 inch of Argo. So just like that, the Renegades of House Orlock take down 2 enemy fighters, and cool test being taken first up for Raven. He is good. And then next up for Snake Eyes, and he is getting an assist. He is going to be good as well due to that assist. The Dark Syndicate have the rest of the activations, and Snake Eyes is going to charge into Richter and take him out of action. And now that is going to force a cool test from Argo, which he fails. He needs a 6, he rolls a 5, and he is going to run 2d6, rolled up 4 inches into cover. And then Raven is going to activate next. He is going to aim with his long rifle. He base hits on a 3. The Infrasight negates 1 cover of the full cover and the aim, so just needing 3s here. He does pass Iron Stare. He is going to hit Argo, and he is going to wound. Argo will go down pinned here. He will also get knocked back. Armored Undersuit and Mesh Armor, AP-1 makes it a 5-up save, and he is going to pass. And moving to the end phase, a lot of bloodshed. Moose and Richter were both lost for the Renegades, and Sinfall and Sinister were lost for the Dark Syndicate. And rolling up bottle test, it looks like the Dark Syndicate are going to pass, and it looks like the Renegades are going to fail. And an absolutely massive priority roll coming up for the next turn, and it looks like the Renegades are going to be up. Argo is going to be allowed to get to his feet. He's going to target Snake Eyes with his shotgun, and he's going to fire this in solid mode, going through heavy cover. And Shotgun Savant adding the +1, easily going to hit on a 6. Strength 4, Toughness 3, needing 3s. That is going to get a wound. He's at least going down pinned. Flak Armor requires a 6-up, and I fail on a 5. So it's going to be a 2 damage weapon, 2 injury dice being rolled out. He's taking a flesh wound, going down with a serious injury. And the Renegades got what they wanted, forcing a cool test by nearby Raven, hoping he is going to fail and break. He does pass, and he will activate next. He's going to use his first action to move, getting behind cover. His second action will be to fire that long rifle, targeting Argo. Will need to pass his cool test in order to get past the Iron Stare, and that is going to be successful. And then full cover, the Infrasight strips for 1. He will hit on 4s. He will get a hit. That is going to pin Argo. He's going to get a wound as well. AP-1 takes him to a 5-up save. That fails, and he is going to take a wound. He has 1 remaining. Next up, Snake Eyes is going to move behind cover, hoping to make himself less targetable. And moving into the end phase, the Dark Syndicate will fail a bottle test, rolling up a 6, and then rolling a recovery test for Snake Eyes, who is down. He's going to roll back over with a flesh wound. All right, another big priority roll coming out now, and it looks like the Renegades are going to take it again, 8 against a 7. Argo gets to his feet, cannot target Snake Eyes, so will target Raven with his shotgun, and he's going to hit on 4s. It isn't heavy cover, however, the Shotgun Savant gives him the +1, so will be 4s, and he is going to get a hit that will knock him back. There's no wound, but he will go down pinned. Raven gets to his feet, passes his Iron Stare test, and then fires the long rifle at Argo. And he's in heavy cover, but the Infrasight will take that to just a -1 penalty, so needing 4s, that shot is going to miss. And then immediately Snake Eyes is going to get to his feet with his first action, attempt to pass Iron Stare to target Argo, and he's got an auto gun. He is going to fail. So now all fighters are back to standing. Although both gangs have bottled at this point, it does look like the Dark Syndicate will finally get priority. Both gangs deciding to stick around, so cool checks being taken. Raven will pass, and he will spread that leadership around to Snake Eyes. And then rolling up for Argo, it looks like he is going to fail. He is going to run. And with that, this game will come to a close, and we've got the post-game report coming right up. It looks like the Dark Syndicate of House Delaque will be taking a victory today. And welcome to the postgame where the Dark Syndicate of House Delaque take a victory over the Renegades of House Orlock. I wasn't surprised to see this outcome, as Delaque had more fighters and 2 champions, while Orlock had a wrecker. If the Renegades could have won the last priority roll, Argo could have potentially charged Snake Eyes with his versatile weapon and took him out, leaving the fight between him and Raven. The Arc Hammer he added is really tasty in combat. The Dark Syndicate will get out with a victory today, and that will take them to 2-0 on the campaign, while the Renegades fall to 1-1. For spoils, the Dark Syndicate will get 10 credits due to a 1 on the D6 roll. That could have been much better. Each gang will also receive +1 rep, with the Dark Syndicate receiving +2. Both gangs will take advantage of their territories, with the Dark Syndicate taking control of the mine workings. In total, they will collect 210 credits this week and +3 rep. The Renegades will gain 40 credits and 2 total rep. For injuries, Sinfall rolled a 55, which is a spinal injury. His strength will be reduced by 1 as he goes into recovery. Sinister rolled up a 61, and for 100 credits, he is stabilized by the doctor, but rolls up a 54, hobbling him and reducing his movement by 1. For the Renegades, Richter suffers a grievous injury, sending him into recovery. Moose rolls a critical, and without the necessary funds to save him, the hero of their dust-up with the Enforcers dies. And that wraps up another episode of Necromunda. Be sure to join us next time when the Nines of House Escher take on the Thunderhawks of House Goliath. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.